Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favi, and welcome to Arrows DIY. On my channel, I love creating Dollar Tree DIYs, high-end dupes, thrift flips, and the occasional trash to treasure. This is another episode in my fall series, and today I have a super fun tier tray decor video for you. This is part of the monthly minis challenge, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But my family loves going apple and pumpkin picking every year, so we were so excited to create these DIYs together. If you love unique home decor on a budget, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, because who knows when I'll be able to post a new video. Now let's get started. So at the Dollar Tree I got this home sign, and I was lucky enough to find two. So I went ahead and I popped out that flower and just scratched off any glue residue that was there. Fairly simple. Now I'm going to go in with this chalk paint called sheepskin, and it's kind of like a buttery off-white color, perfect for this tier tray. I want to match this tier tray with some scrapbook paper I bought last year at Michael's, so that's why I chose this color. But remember, you can always pick whatever color you want to suit your decor. Now I'm going to take these clothespins and take them apart, because they're going to help us build the little bucket for our decor piece. So I took this little plastic container. I got this at the Dollar Tree. I think it's in a pack of 20, I believe, for $1.25. So I'm just going to use these massive scissors to just cut them in half. I do clean up that crazy edge in a second, but first I wanted to give it a paint job. If you can't find that specific container, you could use like one of those sauce containers from takeout if you can't. Okay, so now I'm going to give it a coat in this brushed metal silver paint, and I'm just going to give it a coat, and then I'm going to go in after and kind of pounce my paintbrush to give it a hammered effect. I wanted it to look kind of rustic and like that. So once I was happy with the hammered effect of the silver paint, I go in with some of this gold paint. It's the brushed gold by Folk Art, and I just want to give it kind of like a rust effect. So I just randomly pounce it in certain spots, and then I also kind of scrape the edge of my paintbrush randomly, trying to create globs of gold paint throughout, just to make it look very random and rustic in nature and very sporadic. So these are the two bottles of the brushed metal paints I use today, in brushed silver and brushed gold, and I strongly recommend them. So now I'm taking the clothespins that we took apart earlier, and I'm just going to cut them right in that section there. I'm showing you side by side so you get an idea where we're going to cut. I use my miter shears and I cut them and retrieve them because they're flying across the room. So we're going to use about 7 of these pieces for our particular project, and we are going to hot glue the flat side to the plastic container. So just make sure that that slanted side is facing outward, and I'm just going to hot glue it starting in the center. I'm using Gorilla hot glue and a high temperature glue gun, so you are going to feel some heat, so be careful as you're pressing it. And I'm not too worried about perfection because I do want this to look rustic, so I don't worry too much if my clothespins are not perfectly aligned. It's not a big deal. We're just having fun here, creating some fun, unique home decor. Be sure to subscribe if you like fun, unique home decor on a budget. So then I go ahead and I just hot glue this all throughout this, around this barrel. There you go. I keep saying bucket. Barrel. That's what it's called. We're making a barrel. Okay, moving on. So I think I have about 7 on there, and now I'm going to use my miter shears to kind of clean up that edge. And I do have to kind of turn this barrel upside down and, you know, just to get it nice and flat. I also do the same metalled rustic effect to the bottom of the barrel with the same paint colors. Now I took some paint. This is the matte finish burnt umber color. The brown paint is called burnt umber, and just water it down a little bit. Some spots I went a little heavier than others just to give that rustic effect. I made sure to use a thin paintbrush so that I can get into all the nooks and crannies, just so everything looks nice and uniform and painted. and I got the top portion as well. Then I set it aside to dry. Now I'm going to use these pumpkin. I don't use the gourd. I thought I would, but I didn't. But I just took this off a floral pick and I just cut it using my X-Acto knife. Now I'm going to use some white wax just to kind of soften this orange color and give it that distressed look. But I think you could do this with white paint as well. Now at the Dollar Tree, I was lucky enough to find these apples last year, and I'm just going to give them a good coat in this chalk paint called Imperial. It's my favorite red color of chalk paint. And now I'm going to paint some with the help of my little helper. I'm going to paint the 4 of the apples in this color I mixed in my 3 videos ago. I just wanted like a emerald color just for fun, but you know, use whatever color you like. So once everything was nice and dry, I'm going to go in and just hot glue this barrel to the O. And I just wanted to be sure that the bottom of the barrel sits perfectly at the bottom of the letter O. So just using some hot glue, paying close attention not to burn yourself, stick it on to the letter O. Now when I tried to put it in earlier, the pumpkin was a little too fat, so I had to cut it down again. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that extra foam to the bottom to help the pumpkin sit nicely and not go too far into the barrel. And then I just kind of hot glued it offset, a little askew. Then I added some greenery I had on hand, as well as this little apple. Once I hot glued the apple, I'm going to go ahead and paint the little stem, as well as add a little leaf from the same greenery. Now I'm going in with the same burnt umber brown color, and I'm just painting the stem. Then I added a little greenery on there from the same greenery I added. Now I couldn't find the little stem, the little peduncle for my pumpkin, so I'm just going to build my own using some floral wire stem. I cut it into 2 pieces and then I hot glue them together very carefully. Do not burn yourself. You probably could skip this step altogether if you do not lose your stem, but through a series of unfortunate events, I did. So I'm just showing you here what I did. After the 2 were stuck together, I just added some more hot glue and kind of softened the edge there with more hot glue. With the help of pliers, I painted it once it was all dry. Now I set it aside to dry, and since I had my brown paint out and my tiny paintbrush, I went ahead and painted the stems on all the apples. Once it was nice and dry, I hot glued it right in place. I do add a tiny twine bow on top as well, but this is what it's looking like for now. Now just for kicks, I decided to add some apples inside. I don't know if you know, but I have 5 children and I love putting 5 of things in my projects. So today I'm putting 5 apples all over this home sign just to symbolize my little kids, and just putting them around, just putting them all around in playful positions, just, you know, adding some whimsy and fun to this tier tray decor. This is obviously optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I also added the little stems and the little leaves and some greenery around. So you got to let me know in the comments below what you think about this. As you can see, just put them wherever they fit, really. And this top one, I already know which son was up on top. There's this one child who's always climbing everything, so there had to be a little apple on top. So now this is the scrapbook paper that inspired me. I bought this last year on sale for $6. I always recommend waiting for that 75% off sale at the end of the fall season to get your scrapbook paper. It's such a good deal. So I'm just using this paper because it's fun and I have it on hand and I love using my stash. So I trace these letters, and then I also use this little flathead screwdriver for this to trace out the areas that I couldn't reach with my pen. And then I did draw them in with a pen, and then I just cut it all out. So it was a helpful little tip just to get into those little spaces in the middle that are impossible to trace. Now I'm just going to use some Mod Podge and put a nice thick coat on there. You would want to do this before you add the apples, but I got a little too excited when I was creating. If you don't know, I love creating for fun. This is my stress relief, my me time. Whenever I get a chance, I love to do this. So please subscribe if you love home decor on a budget. I would love to have you join our crafty little family here on YouTube. So then once the paper was on there, I'm going to go ahead and seal the whole thing by adding more Mod Podge on top. I plan to put this in my kitchen right next to my coffee bar. So that's why I think it's important to seal the project to protect it from the weather, and I cook all day, so I need this protected. It'll also make it easier to clean. So you see the Mod Podge, I basically sealed everything, the apples as well, but Mod Podge dries clear. For any excess Mod Podge, I used a tiny paintbrush to get it, to clean up the little edges there. I also added a little shimmer with the same brushed gold color, just to be that little shining point on the apples. And here's how it looks on my tier tray. You gotta let me know what you think. I think this is adorable, so fun. This video is part of the monthly minis challenge hosted by Corie over at Crafted by Corie. I'll leave her link in the description box below. This month is fall, so if you want more fall inspiration, be sure to check out the playlist link in the description box below. Now for this next project, I'm going to be using this birdhouse. I'm obsessed with birdhouses and I love using them throughout the seasons here at my home. So I'm going to take the same scrapbooking paper and I'm going to pick a spot where I like, all of the little pictures on there. So I'm going to pick a spot where I get some leaves and an apple in the decor, and I'm going to Mod Podge this to the back of the birdhouse. I regularly change out my tier tray decor, so I am going to turn this around and add more decor next month. I'm going to be making another video, so be sure to subscribe if you like this stuff. Okay, so for the rest of the sides of the birdhouse, I used some antiquing wax, and now I'm just going to assemble the birdhouse according to its instructions. I'm going to be using hot glue though, instead of the glue that comes with the pack. I just need this to be durable because, kids. So I would like this to last. So this is fairly easy to assemble, and I'm just showing you here really quickly how I did it using hot glue. And you do want to hold it. So I just assemble this using the instructions and hot glue, and it comes together pretty cool. So I'm gonna pull one of the colors from the scrapbooking paper. It's kind of like an emerald green color. So that's the color that I mixed 2 videos ago. And I just paint the roof pieces in that color. Now I'm going to take the leaves from my stash. These came off a specific pick called Queen Anne's Lace from Dollar Tree. And I just thought that these leaves look most like an apple tree. So I'm just going to warn you, I had a lot of fun on this project. So, you could leave out anything you don't want to do for your project. I hope you find an idea for your decor and you enjoy this video. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the leaves on randomly, like so. I want this to look kind of natural, kind of random, like nature. So I'm going to put on the first piece of the birdhouse after I put 3 leaves. Now I'm going to add 2 more leaves randomly, and I'm going to add the top piece of the birdhouse right on top of those leaves. So I kind of wanted these leaves to be peeking out. Now you could cover the entire roof with these leaves. That would be really cute as well. But I wanted to try something different. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of the birdhouse. I'm going to speed this up because I appreciate your time. If you clicked on this video, thank you so much for being here. I love meeting new people. So if you're new around here, coming over from the playlist, I welcome you to subscribe. Yes, I am holding a wrestling baby right now. Okay, so now I'm going to just randomly put on some more leaves using hot glue throughout. And I'm loving how it's looking. Super fun, super whimsical. Again, use the colors you like. I just love having fun on my tier tray. I have one tier tray in my house that's very fancy, and I have another tier tray that's fun. So this is the kids tier tray. I know. So now I'm going to pop off some greenery from another greenery pick I had in my stash. I have no clue where this specific greenery is from, but I'm going to use it because I have it. But feel free to use whatever you'd like. I just want this to look very bushy. So I'm going to take one of these greenery picks and I'm going to hot glue it with all the stems connected. I'm going to hot glue it starting at the top, just bunching them together. I cut off the top piece there, that joining piece, once it's all hot glued. I just figured it'd be easier to help me adhere as many picks as possible if I kept that top piece, connecting piece on until it was all hot glued. So I went through and I added it all on the top of the roof. I know. And I added it all around, and once the entire roof was covered, I went ahead and cut off those top pieces. And I do it to the other side as well. Now, it gets kind of messy with hot glue, and I've learned that if you use a heat gun, you can melt some of those hot glue residue strings. All right, so now I'm going to just add a whole bunch more greenery on top, and then I'm going to cut off any of those white flowers that don't really go with what I'm trying to do. And then I'm going to add some sticks to the side. I'm so sorry, I lost some footage. I have no idea where that footage went, but I added sticks to the side just to give it that apple tree vibe. And then I painted the bottom part gold to match that paper on the other side. And then I added a lot of hot glue to the base there. Once everything was nice and secure there, I added more gold paint to the little opening of the birdhouse, as well as that little perch in the front. I painted both of those in that same brushed gold color. Now, just to add some whimsy and some cute features, I'm gonna add massive bows. I love massive bows on little tiny birdhouses. It's nothing. If you're a subscriber, you know that I love massive bows on tiny birdhouses. So today is no different. I'm gonna take 3 pieces of 12-inch long nautical rope, and I'm just gonna make it into a loop. Once I have that loop, I'm gonna bring the top of the loop down to the middle and secure the center with some jute twine. I double knot it and I secure it with hot glue because we don't trust twine on this channel at all. Twine does not like to obey, so we always add a little tiny bead of twine just to make sure that everything stays in place. And I love the rustic effect that this nautical rope gives to this decor piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this 3 times. Once I have all 3 bows made, I cut off the excess twine and I hot glue them 3 in a row, like so. Then I took the little tiny red apple and I just hot glued it to one of the branches so that it looks like an apple tree. And then to finish off the project and just to add a little more rustic cuteness, I just wrapped some jute twine around the base underneath the perch and wrapped it around 3 times and then cut off the knot. So I wrapped it around 3 times, made a knot, and then cut off the excess. But this is how it's looking. You've got to let me know what you think about this one because I think this is absolutely adorable. Definitely, you know, a lot of steps, but you're free to take what you like and leave what you don't like. But it's just the inspiration I'm trying to share with you today. Give me a big thumbs up if you love this video. I'm planning on a part 2. Give it a thumbs up if you want to see a part 2. And this is how my birdhouse is looking. My apple tree birdhouse in my tier tray. Now for our final project today, I'm out of the box. I admit it, I'm out of the box, but hold on a minute. Just give me a chance. Let me just show you what I'm gonna do with this doorknob. Now, I don't throw anything away, and my husband it was a struggle to keep this doorknob. He was like, why? I'm like, because I wanna make an apple. You don't see the apple? He's like, whatever, lady, just take the doorknob. All right, I'm gonna give this doorknob a paint job. So I'm going to paint it in this same Imperial chalk paint, and it took about 4 coats to get a good solid color.
That looks like doorknob.
Looks like a doorknob?
Yeah, it's doorknob.
Why did I paint it red? What do you think I'm making?
I'm making doorknob.
I'm making a doorknob?
Yeah.
No, it is a doorknob. But what am I turning the doorknob into? Look at my other projects. Look at this project, and then look at that project. What do you see here that's red?
I think that.
What is that? What is that?
A red.
A red what?
Apple.
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 Yeah, don't touch them. So this is going to be a...
Apple.
Yay! You got it. Good job, buddy. High five. All right. So you heard the kid. We are making an apple. All right. I just had to make sure that I wasn't losing my mind. Maybe I am. I don't know. So now I go and I dry brush the leaves in the same emerald color. And then I also dry brush it in the same gold color. I'm going to wrap the base of this doorknob in this nautical rope, which is really, really difficult because the doorknob gets really hot, guys. Be very careful. The doorknob gets hot. All right, we're going to go ahead and just wrap the base with the nautical rope and then cut it at an angle. Then I'm just going to cut off one leaf as neatly as possible. And I'm going, okay, all right. And then I'm going to just hot glue it on top of the middle there once we hot glue it to the center of our apple, our doorknob apple. Yes, I don't think anyone's ever done this before. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Okay, so there you go. I hot glue it right on top like so. I wanted it to look a little random. Now I'm going to add 2 more of those emerald apples to the base of our apple doorknob. And I'm going to do something different next time for my next video, so stay tuned if you want to see what else I do with the gold doorknob. But there it is. I also sandpapered, I distressed the edge of the apple to let that gold shine through. And it kind of makes it, you know, look like that little shiny spot on an apple. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun creating these and sharing my ideas with you guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube and helps this video be shared a little more. But anyways, I gotta go. Don't forget to hit that bell, notifications set to all, so you don't miss a video, because as you can hear, I'm a busy lady. So don't miss a video, hit the notification bell on all, and I'll catch you on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, God bless. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye! If you like this video, here's some others you might enjoy.